Do you ever see the rain? Hey, if you don't see God, does that mean that he doesn't exist? Like if you don't see a sign, like lightning coming down from heaven or something, fire, like if you don't see that, do you just not believe in him? And then is that why SJD is going to make fire come down from heaven so you can believe that, well, he's God? Because he's going to be calling the shots. When he starts raining for 40 days, and whoever actually did truly get deceived, and they're over there in Linwood, Michigan, right? You know what Steve's going to do, don't you? He has people at the controllers. When it's time for him to strike lightning down, he will with his hands. Now again, I'm going to give Justin credit for that one because he came up with that thought, and I thought, it's very interesting because he is acting as the power, the prince of the air, which means he has all the miracle signs and wonders at his fingertips. People are able to control those things. So when he wants to make a bush burn or something, I don't know, whatever, they'll know on cue, and then they'll zap it, from a distance, and he'll get as many people as possible to worship, that beast. Look, guys, I'm on Henry Ave. And I mean, there you go right there. It's a Henry Ave. It's a left-hand turn. And he didn't turn left. Man, if you punch that up in gematria, you'll watch what you see when it lines up with Rabin's name, Henry. And that is one of the problems with taking the Bible literally. Even though Steve knows that everything he's saying literal, he knows it's spiritual. He knows the truth. He turned from it. That's what the definition means. These certain people know all of the truth. The elite don't even know all the damn truth. It's Steve and his crew. They're the ones that know all of the truth, and they're turning from it. Because they even know that the Bible is a spiritual book, but they're telling their bosses, the contractors, the builders that hired those dirty contractors, they're telling them, that it's literal. And that's why we got to cover up the sky, because if we can cover up the sky, then God's third eye can't see us. Yeah, I know that I think it might even be a Muslim belief, where if you're smoking, I heard it from somebody before. If you're smoking in a car, if you want to smoke a cigarette, go in your car with the tinted windows, and Allah can't see you. So that's what happens when you believe things literally like that. So when you wonder, okay, all right, fine, Robin, you say the sky's covered up. All right, okay, I can see its possibility, but why? Why would they do that? Well, it's not just one reason. It's many. Number one, this will turn into a spaceship, and you'll believe it. Okay, that's one reason. But the main one is, if you can cover up this dome with fog, then it's the same as calcifying your pineal gland. Calcify it so you can't can have a connection with God. So let's put fluoride in the water. Well, if that's even the case, which I don't even know it is, it didn't work, all right? It doesn't work. So that tactic failed miserably also. And then if you try to cover up the sky, because the dome is an eyeball lens. The only thing it's missing is an eyelash on the outside. But it's an eyeball, and it's God's eyeball. So when they take it literally, even though Steve knows that ain't true either, but it's what he's teaching to the elite. if you cover up planet Earth, God won't be able to see what's going on down here. Therefore, which means they do believe in God, but they haven't seen anything. Which takes me back to the whole reason why people need a sign from God, a literal sign, in order to believe him. That's why the people that follow Steve, the ones that are on YouTube, the ones that have trolled me, the ones that have tried to discredit my doctrine when you guys have the literal doctrine, and I'm telling you the spiritual meaning of it. I'm telling you what Steve believes, your boss, and you don't believe what's being said, so you'll continue to believe your boss when he talks about certain things being literal. So when that literal stuff happens in the skies, you guys are gonna, well, you're not gonna believe him now. You would have if you didn't hear me. But now that you heard it, you know where it's coming from. Hasn't happened yet, but it will. So when it happens, are you going to believe that Steve is God, like he's saying? So that's the group, the 450 false prophets are the ones that he's been trying to control with his literal doctrine, even though he knows the truth, which is the spiritual understanding. Same as mine, spiritual understanding, but he's lying to you, and I'm not. So that's why you just need to know all of the truth. The whole truth, so help me God. So that's why Steve's going to show you, he's going to show you the signs up in the heavens. That's another reason why the skies are covered. It's not just one reason. Number one, cover God's third eye. Number two, alien invasion clouds will turn into freaking spaceships. Number three, fire from heaven. Steve will act as God on command. The people that are at his house, if they actually do go there, and he preaches for the 40 days, because you know he has it planned out. You know there's a specific date when his roof is going to get done. That's when he's going to start with his 40-day shenanigans. And I'm just helping people see it for what it is. Like the last video where with the cat eating out of the palm of my hands. You know, if you want to see Steve's true character before he deletes his comment, with Letty, Compassion and Loyalty, commented down at the bottom there about SJD, and then SJD commented back and called her a tranny. Now that's just, I mean, this is Jesus Christ in the flesh we're talking about, calling people trannies. Now, does he have evidence of that? You know what I mean? Like, is that an proven evidence? Because he says he doesn't say things to people unless he has evidence. So unless he has evidence with Compassion and Loyalty being a tranny, well, then he probably shouldn't say anything because it makes him a liar. See, when he says things, he backs it up with his book. So if he doesn't have proof, then he should shut his mouth, correct? So what I see is, I see false accusations coming from the mouth of Jesus Christ in the flesh. Asu Christ. What other reason would it be that they cover up the skies? How can they cover up the skies? I went over that quite a few times, how there's a net system up there, and or a laser type technology that connects from one end of the earth to the other, and suction cups to our dome, drilled holes into something, floating dam. If there is a system up there, it's floating in the air because everything has propellers on it, and it's solar energy, and it stays up there because the real sun, even this one here, you still get solar energy from it. So to see those reasons, the alien invasion, the fire from heaven show, the bombs, the great, the sun itself going down, the darkness of it. You can't have the sky dark unless you cover up our original sky, and that's another thing. Steve is controlling the sun. He's telling you when it's going down, right? He said noon. So did I. A few months back, I said noon. I'm not sure if it was Jerusalem time or over here, but it was noon. Because 3.5 days later, it's going to open back up when it's midnight. The sky's going to open up. Now, Steve has been trying to steal my thunder and Justin's thunder for a long time now. I think even Lefty's thunder. And whoever else that has a role in this world that we're playing out naturally, that people are acting out, being paid to be us. And Steve's trying to take on all those roles. So, you know, if you can cover that sky up that way, and you can drop the sun, and Steve's telling you when it's going to happen, sort of, like he's getting you prepared, he's easing it in, little lies at a time, before it actually happens, getting you prepared for it, because then he can say, see, I told you so. Remember, I told you he has the world's script in his hand. He's part of the opposition, and he's going down because we can see what he's doing behind closed doors, and we're not even there. So yes, he's going to make fire come from heaven. He's going to make things explode in front of him. He's going to rain like fire and brimstone in certain areas to anybody that's at his house, and that he's really literally trying to do this. Yes, he will try to manipulate anybody who will listen. Anybody. He'll continue on speaking his lies day in and day out to whoever will listen. There's certain people that know the certain lies, but they don't know others. And we're the ones that know his lies inside and out. The ones that have been watching. Because if you're still watching, it means you understand what I'm doing. And I'm just exposing what the darkness is. That's what candlesticks do. They just keep walking wherever they walk. The darkness is, the darkness tries to attack the light with all their dark enemies and friends that are your enemies, their friends. They try to attack you, but they can't put the light out. It's impossible. So can you imagine like somebody, because again, he's playing that role out like Moses. He's gonna strike the ground with his tree branch that he has, and then he'll make the earth shake or something. It would be I tell you what, it would be pretty cool to see that in person, but I would know that it's not him, it's his crew. His crew is set up to praise him, to make him the God on earth. But he's not. He's not. He's the imposter. He's the simulator. He is the Son Simulator. The Son of God simulating the Son of God, and using a simulator of a sun to float around our sky. That way he can drop it down on his command, just like Joseph, I think. Was it him? Was it Joseph? Or yeah, I don't know. You got to ask Steve. See, I don't know the Bible. I could admit that. But I don't need to know the entire Bible to know who my God is and to understand how he sends messages to my brain. So whoever it was in the Bible, somebody made the sun stay still for most of the day because God hearkened to his voice. So Steve's going to play that too. At some point in time, there's going to be some people, if they allow it to continue that long, the 40 days, we'll see. But anybody who's there watching him, well, obviously you're there watching him because you haven't seen my video. So I'm actually talking to air right now, because the ones I'm talking to have never seen my video, but they'll be there to see it firsthand, and they'll be amazed at Steve's miracles, signs, and wonders. I would be thoroughly enjoying the show myself, because you know where it's all coming from. And why would they go through all this trouble? I mean, okay, fine, Robin, you explained it clearly. I understand. Okay, they did cover the sky, number one. They covered up our sun, the moon, and stars. So, oh yeah, I forgot the other one. Because the way they found Christ before, they followed the star to like Bethlehem, right? Same thing's happening these days. So they covered up all of our stars everywhere, where they can see it, but we can't from down here. They can see it up there. They're covering that. That is like the main reason, but all the other reasons come in together too, don't they? Don't they all make sense? Why they have technology to cover up our skies. Do you think these clouds are real? Well, I don't. So I don't know how, what it's made of, whatever. I just know that it's new. Nothing is new under the sun. So therefore, it's not real. It's really there, but it's not actually from God's hand. But it is, because it's all God's material. So technically, God made sure that this was going to happen. He knew they were going to come with the clouds, even though it means the clouds of judgment. But that's how, when you take the Bible literally, you'll be looking for these freaking new clouds. So when they hide that our stars and our entire sky from us, so we can't tell when Christ returns, then that's their benefit to them, supposedly, because only they know the truth and then turn from it. That's why they know God exists, but they've never seen a sign from him. They've never seen him do anything. I never seen him do anything either. But except for in my life, I've seen him do plenty of things in my life, and he is silent. God is the most powerful, invisible, silent creation in existence. You can't see him, you can't hear him, but he's the most powerful. But I can see him clearly, I can hear him loud and clear, and I understand his power, and I know how it works through time. It works through time. Great fear falls upon the remnant over the time period, because people are turning from the person playing Lucifer, Satan, Christ, Adam, first, last, Jesus, Elijah, John the Baptist, and Moses, just everybody and everything, the two witnesses. It's like when I told Steve that, I'm like, all right, Steve, well, you think you're Elijah. How don't you remember slaying them with the word of God, goof? You think you really killed all 450 of them? Dummy. But that's taking the Bible literally. That's Steve knowing the Bible is spiritual. He knows that's true. He knows what I'm saying is absolutely 100% true. But because, again, he can't deceive me. He tried. If possible, the very elect, he tried to deceive. The cream of the crop. He tried to deceive us. It didn't work. Some of it worked in the beginning. It didn't work in the end. And that's the most important. It's like, yeah, he won that battle at that time, but the war is won by us in the end, which is coming up. The end of his time. So if you were Elijah and you remember all your previous lives there, Steve, like you're a cat, you would remember that you slew him with the word and you mocked him. But you don't seem like a person with a sense of humor, and you're not very funny. So for you to mock the 450 prophets, I don't think so. They're mocking you, actually, after I mocked them first. I mocked them first, and then now they're mocking you. So here's the bottom line with Steve. All right, let me sum this part up before I forget. I am the first person in Steve's life, first person in Stephen James Deshawn's life who has clowned him. All right, I clowned him. I mocked him. I make people laugh with the imitations of him. Everything that I come up with is original. And, well, some of it is pretty damn funny. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't be laughing at myself when I rewatch the videos. And I know that you guys are laughing the same way that I am, because I'm watching it through your eyes. It's like I do the video as me, you know, rapping, and then I upload my brain into AI, the computer, and then I turn into a Henry, all right, with the left hand, okay? So I turn into Henry on the video when I rewatch it. So I'm watching Henry with you guys. And so it's like taking the pulse of my subs to see what they see. What do you guys see? Why do people say that they don't watch their own videos? Well, are they afraid that because they're lying, well, not afraid, but, or are they afraid to see themselves, number one? Number two, do they not like hearing themselves lie? Is that what it is? You can't watch yourself again because you know you're lying? Or do you it's just not your thing? Or am I just conceited and I'm so stuck on myself that I have to watch my own videos? Even though I've learned that when I do, there's times I'm not fully, I don't know where the thoughts just come in my head and I'll say it, and at the time I'm just doing my part. It's like I can be two people at once with two faces, okay? I could be Rabin speaking now, and then I could be Henry afterwards when I rewatch, because I'm not particularly paying attention to what I'm saying. I'm just rambling on, about nothing important. But then when I re-listen, I hear it again. It's repeated twice. So it for me, I mean, I don't know. I get the upper hand, I guess, because I get to speak it first, and then I get to rewatch it and listen to it and hear it again. And sometimes things just click in place even afterwards. But I mean, oh yeah, here's another thing about the left hand and the right hand and that nonsense, along with Steve being clowned on for the first time in his life by me, and I have other people laughing who are his colleagues, and you guys just aren't you aren't really saying it to his face, like how you feel about him. But don't you know that's why those demons are speaking in his head? When he says, and I'll guarantee you this, he will not say anymore, I don't care whether you believe me or not, he's not going to say it, because it's too much in his head to say it again. After I've brought that to the surface, like the reasoning behind it is because demons are talking to him, and he knows that. So he has to suppress it and not say that again to make it seem like he's defeated his demons. But you know what? That's good. If he does that, that's good. He is defeating his demons. If he doesn't, if he just continues to say it, well, it shows weakness on his end, because he knows it's demons that he's talking to. And then if he goes ahead and stops saying it, I commend him a little more for doing it, but at the same time, I still have control over him, because I'm controlling his moves. I'm telling you what he's going to do before he does it, because it's like human nature. With the level that he's on, I'm just speaking to him at his level, and ultimately I'm doing it in love. But is it fun to clown on him? Yeah, of course it is, because of where he's at. Sure. And I get permission from God to do it, and that's the best part. Because in the beginning of my YouTube career, I kind of felt bad mocking people. I did, but they made me so sick I had to. And then I came across the Kings chapter with Elijah, and I never knew that he mocked these 450 false prophets. I learned a lot since getting on YouTube. And then after that, I'm like, oh, well, hey, you know what? God is okay with me doing that. Well, alrighty then. And then I just hadn't stopped. So Steve is being mocked. People are laughing. He knows, even he's laughing sometimes at me mocking him, but he's kind of salty because there's a position available that he thought he had locked down when he was flourishing in his palace. And then all of a sudden he had this like vision, this dream that kind of bothered the crap out of him. And because he's seen something, he's seen like these walls come tumbling down, but he didn't want to believe it, and that's what troubled him. And then so I rented that space up in a storefront for at least a year, and started to get people to wake up and see who their boss truly is. So that's who Steve truly is. He is who I say he is. And he's showing it more and more and more every time he gets up and makes a video. But he can't see that. That's God sending that strong delusion over Steve's eye so he can't see that. Steve's not going quietly. He will not give up the position. So listen, here's the next step. That the same thing that you guys are going to do to me, right, and the rest of the world, which is cut off your funds in your bank, right? The next best step would be the same thing that you've seen Justin text me. It's time for you guys in charge to cut Steve's funds. Just, you know what? You don't even have to let us know. Just push the button for one day. Give him an alert. Give him a scare. And do it to where he hears what I'm saying right now. And you guys just push it. Look, I'll never know. I will never know. Nobody on YouTube will ever know. The only ones that are going to know is Steve and you guys, that just the same way you push the button with YouTube about 6 months ago when you flick that little switch and shut it off for a few hours, everybody start freaking out. Do the same thing with Steve's bank account. Shut it down, let him sweat it out, and then just put it back up again. I will never know. Nobody else in YouTube or in the world will know but Steve and you guys. And then just watch, watch what happens. Watch how he freaks out. All those millions and billions of dollars that Steve has in his Swiss bank account. Oh man, he would flip out. And you guys would be dying laughing, won't you? We can watch the video after all this is done because I want to see it. I want to piss myself laughing too. But it's just a suggestion, because it's going to happen anyway, ain't it? So just give him a little taste, because you know what it does? It helps him. Because when it does happen, he's already going to be familiar with the feeling, and he's already going to be halfway submissive to God, because he knows what I just said happened. You guys did it. He sees your power, and then when it happens for good, it eases him into getting the punishment from our dad. All right? So just look at it like this. He's our little brother. We're just looking out for him because we don't want to disturb Dad. Dad's resting right now. He had us to correct our brothers and sisters when they get out of line. So that's what we got to do with Steve. Don't be afraid of him. He's just a big bully. He's just a big bully baby. He's a baby Huey. He doesn't get his way, he'll call you a tranny. It's like the pure evil anger is coming out of him now, but he can't do anything. Just remember that. He can't touch you. He can't touch you. He can threaten you with fire, brimstone from heaven, which won't happen. Oh, okay, I can't get Robin in. All right, fine. He can threaten you with lava coming into the bunker. Oh, wait, I can't get Robin here because he's not going in our bunker. And if he was, well, he would know that it wouldn't happen anyway. Crap. So I can't threaten you with that. Oh, fine. The economy's going to collapse, and I'm going to have food in my garden because I planted a vineyard. It's going to go great fruits and tasty lemonade. I don't know. So he's going to threaten you with the economy collapsing if you believe that. The lava, the boiling water, you go into the bunker if you believe that. If you turn against him after your mission is accomplished, going underground. So he'll threaten you with that. He's threatening the elite with fire coming from heaven, so he's telling them to get in their bunkers, but they're safe. They're not going to get burned with lava. Only the ones that don't help me anymore, like Robin said, sorry to burst your bubble, Robin, but they're going to still come to help me. They will. I don't care if you believe me or not. I mean, I do. I mean, what? Satan, leave me alone. So that's what's tormenting Steve right now. And he will come to his senses. This will all pass. It is true. You'll see it in due time. Right now, don't believe a word I say. You're not supposed to. I don't want you to. I want you to see it after it happens. That's how I want you to. I want you to see it after the change happens. Steve wants you to see it and believe it now. Believe it right now. And worship me, damn it. So that's all coming to an end on Steve's end. And then, so that's why he's not used to this. He's not used to being clowned on by somebody. And, well, that's my purpose here, is to mock him, make you guys laugh, make you see the truth, make you see how ridiculous his literal terms are, have you understand that he knows the spiritual meaning just like I do. Nothing's happening physically like that. He is the person that's playing the prince of the power of the air. And when it comes to the handing with the left hand or the right hand, it's like when you start going down that route, well, what are you trying to say, Steve? That you can only hand somebody money with your right hand? Well, then isn't that like some kind of cultic symbolism? It's like you're trying to get people to believe that doing it with a certain hand is wrong, which means you have to do it with the other hand. So then you're trying to get them to believe that, which turns them into some kind of weird satanic cult believer, that you have to do specific things in specific areas, pray in specific time frames, specific dates, specific directions. Nope, none of it's true. It's all retarded. Do as you will. God will lead you in the right direction when you're doing His will. So do as you will. If you're not doing God's will, do as you will. Continue to do as you will, because God will find a way to show you through your heart. You're not getting any signs these days. You're only getting the sign of Jonah. That's it. The warning, just like Harold Camping warned us about, that's all you get. You're going to see the rest happen with the people around you. Their hearts are changing. You're going to see it. It's going to blossom